My wife hits me when she is angry. My wife and I generally have a good relationship and we treat each other well most of the time. I truly love her deeply. However, when I do small things wrong or unintentionally annoy her, she sometimes explodes into an angry rage. During these moments, she belittles me and smacks me on the head. This only happens when she is angry, and afterward, she usually cries and says she did not mean to hit me. I forgive her because I assume it is just a reaction to her anger. Today, things were different. I do not fully understand how garage doors work, as I never had one before moving into our house. I mistakenly thought that pulling the string attached to the motor would close the door, but it actually disengaged the lock. I realized my mistake and was about to fix it when my wife came out to see what had happened. When I explained, she became furious. She told me to pack my bags and leave, saying she did not want anything to do with me. She started smacking me on the head again. I did not want to escalate the situation, so I stayed and focused on fixing the garage, which I managed to do. Afterward, I went into my office for some quiet time, but she came in crying about everything again. We have been together for 8 years and married for nearly 1 year. She is currently 15 weeks pregnant, which may be adding stress to her emotions and behavior. That night, I took advice and brought up how her reactions upset me. I also acknowledged my role in the situation and how my actions might have contributed to her anger. I suggested the possibility of seeking therapy for anger management, but the conversation did not go well. She told me that I make her angry and that I just need to stop doing things that upset her. She also threatened to leave and go to her parents' house. AITA for telling my wife she's effing wrong and that my mom is right. I, a 35-year-old man, have been married to my wife, a 32-year-old woman, for 5 years. Recently, we've been struggling financially after I lost my job 3 months ago. I've since found part-time work, but it doesn't pay as much as my previous position, leaving us living paycheck to paycheck and dipping into our savings. During a recent visit, my 65-year-old mom noticed my stress about our finances. She suggested ways to save money, like cutting back on takeout, meal prepping, and switching to cheaper brands, practices she used while raising me and my siblings on a tight budget. I thought her advice made sense and asked if she could review our spending with us to identify where we could cut back. My wife agreed at the time. After analyzing our expenses, my mom created a spreadsheet that highlighted excessive spending on non-essential items, most of which turned out to be my wife's fun purchases, such as daily Starbucks trips and takeout meals. While I thought it was a wake-up call, my wife disagreed and became defensive, arguing that my mom's methods were outdated and unrealistic. She didn't want to give up organic produce or the variety in our meals. She believed things weren't as dire as I was making them out to be and suggested we simply ride it out. The argument escalated when my mom left. My wife insisted she wouldn't give up her takeout habits and continued criticizing my mom's approach. Frustrated, I told her, "You're effing wrong. My mom is right. She managed to raise 3 kids on 1 income, and we can't even cut back on groceries for a few months." My wife was deeply upset, calling me a huge jerk for siding with my mom and accusing me of being dismissive of her perspective. She has barely spoken to me since, and now I am questioning whether I went too far. However, I still believe my mom's advice could help us out of this financial situation if we both made sacrifices. My wife, a 31-year-old woman, is considering leaving me, a 29-year-old man. I am a 29-year-old man struggling to manage my emotions right now. Tomorrow, my wife, who is 31 years old, has a therapy session where she will decide whether she wants to stay in our marriage of 12 years or leave. I am overwhelmed with anxiety because I deeply want her to choose to stay. I am reaching out for advice on how to handle this incredibly difficult situation. I want to express to her how much she means to me, but she has accused me of love bombing in the past. I know our relationship is far from perfect, and I am determined to work hard on myself to become a better man for her. However, I am afraid it might be too late to make meaningful changes. It feels like no matter what I do, I end up making things worse. Even my sadness about the possibility of losing her seems to make her uncomfortable. For instance, earlier today, I mentioned that I would miss the things we used to do together. She responded by saying that I was guilt-tripping her. That was never my intention. I just cannot help feeling heartbroken at the thought that our 12-year relationship might come to an end if she decides she no longer wants to be with me. Does anyone have advice on how I can navigate this situation with respect for her feelings while also managing my own heartbreak? Would I be the butthole if I broke up with my girlfriend because of her medical history? I am a 21-year-old man, and my girlfriend, a 20-year-old woman, has postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, POTS. This condition makes it difficult for her to do many physical activities on her own. I often need to help her with tasks like going up and down stairs, taking a shower, and getting ready in the morning. I am a physically active person who enjoys activities such as going to the gym and hiking. While I feel guilty for wanting to break up with her because of her condition, I also want to be with someone who shares similar interests and is able to enjoy these activities with me. Even if she were healthy, she has made it clear that she does not have an interest in these things, and we do not have much in common overall. Currently, we live together in an apartment that is too small for the two of us. The apartment lease is under my name, and I pay all the rent because she is unable to work due to her condition. I am feeling stuck and unsure about what to do. I care about her, but feel conflicted about staying in a relationship where we are not compatible and I am not happy. Edit for clarification. I moved into this apartment before I knew she wanted to live with me. The apartment is on the second floor, which means she has to use stairs, a challenge due to her condition. I agreed to let her move in because this is my first relationship and I was too inexperienced and scared to say no. I thought things might work out, but now I'm in a situation where I want to leave but do not know how to handle it. I am seeking advice on how to navigate this situation.